Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Febri Syahpiana from English Education B 2019 Universitas Sulawesi Barat. The English for Specific Purposes course with the lecturer is Mr. Hadis Mais PDPD. The origin of ESP. As development of human activities grows, ESP strongly indicates as phenomenon out of concentration. 1. The birth of a brave new world. This was the result of an exchange for goods and service after the World War. English is dedicated to the technology of international commerce. A knowledge of English is generally regarded as a prerequisite for a good education. The acceptance of English as an international language, creating a new generation that specially knows why they are learning the language. 2. A revolution in brewing, change in language. Traditionally, the aim of the linguist is to represent the grammatical rule of English. The language in which you speak and write will vary any number of different ways from one context to another. 3. Focus on the text. Learners have different needs and interests, which will affect their motivation to learn the language and its effectiveness and study faster and better. Development of ESP. In its development, ESP has undergone a process of change, where we will find out more details than the previous discussion about ESP. 1. Register analysis. In linguistics, a registered purpose or in a particular social setting. Registered analysis is an analysis of grammatical and lexical features of the language used for particular purpose or in particular social setting. 2. Rhetorical or discourse analysis. In this stage, the second phase of development shifted attention to the level above the sentence. As ESP became closely involved with the emerging field of discourse or rhetorical analysis. 1987, target situation analysis was aimed to take student existing knowledge and setting it on a more scientific basis by establishing procedures for relating language analysis more closely to learners. 4. Skills and strategy. In this stage, we concern to the thinking process underlying language use and focus on underlying interpretative strategy. 5. A learning-centered approach. ESP concerns which language learning rather than language use. The importance and the implication of the distinction that we have made between language use and language learning will hopefully become clear as we process through the following chapters. Language description. Various ideas on language that influence ESP we can identify by 6 main points of this development. 1. Classical or traditional grammar. The description of English with other language is based on the grammar of the classical language, namely Greek and Latin. The description is based on analysis of sentence. 2. Structural language, describing terms from syntagmatic language words, the grammar of which carries the main preposition. 3. Transformation generative grammar. Grammar sees language as collection of syntagmatic patterns that persist until its 1957 Publication in Syntactic Grammar by Noah Chomsky. Chomsky states that there are problems that arise from language because language is still being analyzed and described in isolation from the human mind that produced it. For language variation and register analysis. Language is different, but it is same goal. Different delivery which is analyzed with different variations. Concepts from different language provide different levels of ESP types based on register analysis. Functional national grammar. Functional concerns social behavior and represent the goals of the speaker right, while nation reflects the way that is the human mind. 6. Discourse rhetorical analysis. Context of the sentence is also important to form the meaning. The meaning in a sentence can be the same but a different context. In other words, language that has meaning for other purposes. Theory of learning. Language can only be understood as a reflection of human thought process. Language is conditional by observing thought, organizing and storing information. In other words, the key to learning and teaching language is understanding grammar and thought process. 1. Behaviorance. Learning as habit information. Behavior learning as habit formation. 2. Mentalism. Thinking as activity governed by rules. Learning is only a form of habit but a rule of learning, the process by which individual experience are used with thought to formulate tentative hypotheses or conjectures. Cognitive code. Students as thinking based. Cognitive code. Students thinking based actively think about what they are learning. 5. Affective factors. Student as emotional beings, affective factors. Student as emotional beings, supers motivation and affective factor. 5. Learning and acquisition. Learning is seen as a acquisition process, where proficiency takes place unconsciously. A learning model. Learning model will provide a practical resource of reference for ESP teacher and course designers. Needs analysis. Need analysis can be a vital asset for a teacher of ESP to identify their learners' key requirements or needs and determine. It has been also reported that writing and reading along with speaking skills were needed more than others. 1. Target needs analysis. Target requirements are something of a general theme, namely this hitting a number of important differences. 2. Gathering information about target needs. The needs analysis of the target situation is essentially a question of the target situation and the attitudes toward of the various participants of the learning process. Learning needs analysis. Learning needs is what the student needs to do in order to learn. Using our analogy of the ESP course journey, what we have done so far is considered the starting point and the destination, and where the destination should be. 4. Analysis learning needs. To analyze learning needs, we can use checklists similar to that used for target situation analysis. Approach to course design. Course design is the process by which raw data about student needs are generated to generate multiple interpretation of the teaching experience. 1. Language-centered course design aims to illustrate the direct relationship between the analysis of the target situation and the content of this course, provide logistic and easy, but this has several drawbacks. First, starting from student and their needs. Second, process-oriented language. Third, one of the interesting features. Fourth, the language-oriented model. 2. Skill-centered course design. Format in two basic principles, namely, first, the basic theoretical hypothesis. Second, the pragmatic basic. 3. Learning-centered approach, based on the first principle that learning is determined by the teacher in total. Learning is seen as the process by which learners use their existing knowledge or skills to make sense of the flow of new information.